Aspiration to one's ideal self, or at least the perception of that ideal, is a time-tested and very compelling character motivation. Oftentimes, the desire for this perfected self manifests in the ambition to be a hero, which makes sense, right? Heroes have always stood for the kind of people we could only try to be, the unwavering paragons of justice that reflexively think of others first and put their all into helping and improving. The stated goal for a hero isn't always explicitly as simple as "I want to be a hero," but today we're going to be talking about two anime where it is just that simple: Fire Force and My Hero Academia. Midoriya and Shinra to me symbolize how characters made with similar broad strokes can be written both well and poorly. But before we get into that, we have to answer a question first. What makes a hero interesting? Other than cool powers that put on bombastic spectacle, what's really keeping us invested in this character? A hero is only as interesting as what they struggle against. The conflicts a character faces are integral to getting to know them. If I can't invest myself even slightly in their conflicts, then I can't care about their victories or losses. Additionally, if I feel like a character isn't genuinely struggling or as though they've achieved a hollow moment of catharsis, then the whole thing just feels wrong. In the case of Midoriya, we watch him struggle from episode 1. He's denied his dream due to not having a quirk and is told by his personal idol that he couldn't cut it as a hero. Despite this, he still risks his life to save someone that doesn't really care about him. He still affirms his goal of being a hero. In multiple instances, Midoriya gets beaten within an inch of his life trying to help people that don't really want his help, and stands up to do it again. Despite getting beaten down constantly, Midoriya doesn't compromise the heroic spirit that convinced All Might to reverse his opinion and pick him in the first place. It's also poignant that, even after being chosen for One for All, Midoriya has to work his ass off to be remotely ready for it. Even when he overworks, injures himself, and again gets beaten down, he's up and ready to do it again. He displays a strong sense of self-sacrifice in order to achieve his goals, which could be said to be a lighter mirror to more tragic heroes like Shiro Emiya. At least 1/3 of Fate is Shiro getting knocked around while his emotionally defeated future self makes plans and talks shit. His conflicts stem directly from his moral character, which ties into his heroic ambition. As has been pointed out many times before and will doubtlessly be pointed out again in the future, the desire to protect others is inherently selfish. That kind of foundation for heroism leads down self-destructive, power-seeking paths. Protecting others means being stronger than what's threatening them, and getting stronger is a must, even if it comes at the expense of one's ideals and sense of self. Shiro's various bad ends consist of times where he either puts the desires of others far before his well-being or when he sacrifices others for his morals. For him, and other protagonists vying to be the Ubermensch, heroism remains both the goal and the eternal struggle. This brings us to Shinra. One thing I will say before criticizing is that I at least think Shinra is a character capable of delivering cool moments. The way he flies around, delivering such high-speed, impactful action never failed to entertain me. Now that could definitely be more of the directing, and that I just love me a quick shoto. Either way, I can at least say that there are parts of this character concept that I truly enjoy. Take Shinra's introductory scene in the first episode. An inferno spawns at the train station, and while civilians are panicked and running, Shinra is calm and ready to jump into action. While this scene instead serves as a mass introduction to the members of the 8th Company, we do get to see Shinra do some sick stuff and still save the day in some capacity. Now, while this is cool and undoubtedly drew many into the show due to the great presentation of this scene, there's one thing that bugs me about it. The show just started. The show just started and Shinra is already flying around and pulling generally impressive stunts. In fairness, this is also the case in the first episodes of Soul Eater that served to introduce us to Maka, Black Star, and Death the Kid. However, these episodes also serve to show us that these characters still have room to grow. Maka and Soul still need to improve their teamwork, Black Star can still work on his ego, and Death the Kid needs to learn a greater sense of flexibility. Even with Midoriya's introduction, we know he has space to grow because we see him observing and analyzing heroic deeds instead of committing them himself. With Shinra, we just see him doing cool stunts and then we move on. We meet the rest of the cast and then we move on. For episode after episode, there isn't really any sign that Shinra is less than well equipped to deal with the upcoming threats. We get to see him save people that have been at this longer than he has and should logically be better than him, and even learn that his strong power is the result of being the chosen one in some variety, which, total shocker. But this feels like it's just an unnecessary boon for an already powerful character. Shinra's victories seem to come very easily to him, except for when the plot kicks into gear and it becomes necessary for him to lose. His losses never feel like genuine losses. Shinra didn't get outplayed, he didn't press buttons, he just fails or wins for no real reason other than the plot's demands. When he fights the commander of Company 1, he fails because there aren't any stakes to him winning. The fight could have gone either way and it wouldn't have affected the overall plot. He loses to Maki that one time to show that there is supposed to be some gap of experience between the two, but the show and the manga hardly ever reinforce this idea. Since Fire Force never brings me to believing in Shinra's arc, it's hard for me to invest in his development. When he gets his inevitable power-ups and starts doing cooler stunts, it'll be awesome, but it won't be compelling. He won't have lost a comrade and lose control of his anger, or struggle against his own demons to rescue loved ones. He'll just win. And if I can't buy into a character's struggle or lack thereof, then I can't invest myself in their victories or their losses. So while Fire Force offers some of the coolest cuts I've ever seen, its main character leaves a lot to be desired. In truth, they all do, but that's a topic for another time, and someone else. If you enjoyed this video, do the usual do. Like, leave an angry comment about how I completely misjudged your favorite modern shonen, and subscribe. I hope to see you again in the next one.